Got a letter from a man in deep. Said his house ain't a home and he's losing sleep. Wife cold as steel, vibe off track. Asked me how the hell to get his edge back.
What's going on, guys? I have a good sponsored video for you this afternoon. The subject is, I'm in a new relationship and I'm trying not to screw this up. Paul, I've been listening to the podcast for a long time, and I figured I'd write in because I'm in a new relationship and I don't want to mess this up the way I have before. Well, brother, we tend to get what we focus on in life. And if you're worried about screwing things up, you're going to end up screwing things up. You know, it's one of those things. And also remember, according to Breitfelt's law, relationships are her job. It's her job to keep you. Okay. Your job is to be a man worth keeping. Okay. So worry about being the best version of yourself. He says, I met a woman a couple of months ago. Things are going well. We see each other a few times a week. We get along. The chemistry is there. No drama so far. But this is usually the point where I start changing how I act and end up ruining something that was working. Yeah, because you start overthinking and you're worrying about messing things up. And so then you end up stepping on your junk, you know, as Rob Says would say, you end up stepping on your junk. And that's usually because you put her up on a pedestal and you don't see yourself as the prize, brother. Okay. So you gotta work on that mindset a little bit. He says, you always say women are security-seeking creatures that respond to strength. I do say that a lot. I've heard you say it enough times that I know exactly what you mean. In my past relationships, I tried to create security by talking things out and checking in a lot and making sure she knew where I stood. And I thought that was being responsible. Looking back, it probably did the opposite. Yeah, I do say that, right? The women are security-seeking creatures that respond to strength. These are two concepts that I got from two of my biggest mentors in the space. Dr. Robert Glover says that women are security-seeking creatures, and Christopher Canwell says that women respond to strength, right? And something I've never really addressed on the podcast before, but there's essentially 4 essential security levels that women are looking for, okay? And we'll get to all of them, but the first one is personal security. Okay. Women are worried about themselves first. Okay. Men are usually worried about others. Women are worried about themselves. Okay. And when a guy is more calm and he's got some emotional control, like, women feel a sense of security with him because they believe that he can handle whatever life throws at him, right? But if a guy is anxious, so if you're checking in a lot and, trying to talk things out all the time and you're basically walking on eggshells, to her, you're signaling insecurity. And so to her, that doesn't make her feel safe. See, a lot of guys think, when women want to feel protected, and guys need to be protectors and providers, right? Protectors. They think it's, I can get into a fight, right? But if you think about any kind of crisis, a guy who has a level head during a crisis is going to make it through the crisis, right? But a guy who panics and freaks out and doesn't know what he's going to do, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to, this is why when they're trying to evacuate a building, they're always trying to have people leave in a calm and orderly fashion, because when people panic, they trample each other to death, right? I don't know if any of you guys saw the P. Diddy documentary or the docuseries on Netflix. Nurse Chick and I binged through that. That was pretty good. And Diddy was in charge of like this big promotion one time in New York that caused a ton of people to be trampled to death. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, so women look at calm versus anxiety as a calm guy that's level-headed as someone that makes me feel more secure, more protected, because he's got his crap together, right? But a guy who's anxious makes her feel nervous, right? And so she needs to feel like you can handle life. And And so when you're checking in a lot, trying to over communicate, give her constant reassurance, all that kind of stuff, to her, it looks like insecurity. And to her, it makes her feel unsafe. Okay. It's feels over reals for women. You got to understand. There's a guy on Facebook yesterday. He was like trying to get into a debate with me in the comments and talk about logical fallacies about whatever. And I'm like, you're trying to logic women? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Women aren't logical. Okay. So he says, this time I'm trying to pay attention to how I carry myself instead of what I say. When I stay calm and don't react to every little thing, she seems more relaxed. Yeah. It's like magic, right? When I start worrying about where things are going, I can feel it change. She doesn't say anything, but it feels different. It's made me realize she's watching how I show up more than the relationship itself. Yeah. Yeah, they're always watching, aren't they? I've also noticed things feel better when I keep my normal routine. I still make time for her, but I don't drop everything to fit her schedule. When I stay busy with my own responsibilities, the connection feels smoother. When I don't, it feels like something's off. It's weird how subtle it is, but it's there. Yeah. So the next security level women worry about is directional security, right? But just remember that that's her job to worry about. Okay. That's her job to worry about. So going back to Breitfeld's law, and relationships are her job. You need to let her worry about the direction of the relationship. Okay. The only direction you need to worry about is getting to the next level of your purpose, right? Making more money, getting in better shape, working on your mindset, learning new things, like all that kind of stuff, right? And this ties into financial or provisioning security too, but that's really secondary to the direction, right? This is why I always say money doesn't make him attractive. Like women, like a lot of guys think women only care about money. And if the more money you have, the more attractive you are. It's not the money that makes you attractive, right? It's the qualities a man has that can get him money that make him attractive, right? Drive, ambition, decisiveness, assertiveness. Okay. So it's more about the direction his life is going, not necessarily the money. You feel me, dog? Okay. So if a guy has good direction, the money will take care of itself, right? At least that's what women think, right? And typically they're not far off. Okay. Now, if you rearrange yourself to fit a relationship mold you think she wants, you'll end up having her questioning the whole relationship. Okay. You'll have her question the whole entire relationship. She wants to join your lifestyle. So worry about making your lifestyle awesome without worrying about her. Okay. Let her worry about the relationship. You worry about being awesome and living an awesome life. Okay. He says, I'm also watching how I handle stress and disagreements. I don't hide how I feel, but I don't unload everything either. When I stay calm instead of explaining myself over and over, she seems more comfortable. It's like she's paying attention to whether I can handle pressure without falling apart. That's new for me. It's not new. It's just you're aware of it now, right? This is like our reticular activating system. Once you're aware of something, you start noticing it more. It's not that it wasn't there before, right? But also the next security level is emotional security. Okay. So what guys don't understand about this is that women, they don't care about your emotions. They don't give a shit. Okay. They want you to be in control of your emotions because she's emotional and she can't handle life. Okay. So she needs someone that can, what's a good way to describe this? If you guys read Gif Lasta's book, The Way of Men with Maids, it's a very Christian, I call it a Christian red pill book. That wasn't really what his goal was, but he uses a lot of Athol K and stuff in there. He talks about frame in there and stuff like that. It's a very good book, especially if you're a Christian guy. And one of the things that he says is, you got to think of your frame, your masculine frame, like a shell, right? And then her, like the pearl. She wants to rest in the comfort of your strong masculine frame, right? So because she's, her mind's chaotic and she's controlled by her emotions, she needs to know that you're going to stand firm no matter what life throws at you guys. And that makes her feel safe, right? So that's where like that emotional security comes from your mental frame. And a lot of guys confuse being emotionally available or emotionally intelligent with expressing their feelings more, right? And they end up emotionally dumping on their girl, and she in turn then feels less emotionally secure because she feels like you can't handle your own shit. Right? So when you stay calm, you don't explain yourself, and basically don't climb on her emotional roller coaster, she feels like you are the rock that she can lean on when life is tough for her. Right? It's all about her and her. Like women are, like I said before, women only give a shit about themselves, right? They're very solipsistic, they're very self-centered. This is why, like, we in the red pill space talk about being your own mental point of origin, because a lot of guys aren't very self-centered. We don't have that enlightened self-interest that women just naturally have, because we're programmed to be protectors and providers and care about everybody else and worry about everyone else, right? And we sort of have to be that way if we're going to be like the patriarch of the family. Like, everyone's our responsibility. But it also helps men if you can take a step back and realize you have to do what's best for you and work on your purpose and all that kind of stuff. And then everything else tends to fall into place. It's pretty great. So anyway, so yeah, the second one is emotional security. He says, I'm not pushing marriage or trying to define the future. I've backed off all the serious talks. I'm just showing up the same way each time and letting things unfold. That seems to be working so far. Isn't that amazing? So that leads to the fourth level of security women are looking for, which is relational security. So don't confuse this with relationship security. It's totally different. Okay. It's more about space and time for observation, right? So women are hypergamous by nature. So they want to consolidate on their best possible option. And that typically means she needs time to weigh her options against you. You guys have been seeing each other for a few months now, so it seems like she sees you as her best possible option right now. But women still are going to test you, right? So they need time to test you with shit tests and such, to watch your patterns over time. So, I mean, you're not even out of the honeymoon phase right now. So she's still going to be testing you pretty hard. And this is one of the reasons why men who are super needy and pushing for the next level all the time, it creates a lot of pressure and anxiety for women, right? Plus, it goes completely against Breitholt's law. I talk about on the podcast all the time why, because of Breitholt's law, like, women need to lock you down, right? But Puck describes it really well in the book of Puck. He's like, it's like a wild bird willingly flying into a cage. Like, women at a subconscious level know that's not natural. It's not natural for a wild bird to fly into a cage. So when guys are the wild birds trying to get locked down into relationships, women are like, what is going on here? But that's also because it goes against their relational security. They're still trying to make sure that you're the best possible option for them, right? So if you're a calm cucumber or a cool cucumber and just keep facilitating fun and fucking, that allows her time to do what the whammon vetting and that she needs to do, and it calms her nervous system down. Okay. So the more she sees you as her best option, the more she'll be willing to want to keep the commitment, feel bonded to you, and like all that kind of jazz. Right. Okay. And it sounds like so far you're just describing your relationship to me. It's not, that's like, everything sounds good, man. I don't know. It sounds like you're on the right track. I guess I'm writing because I want to know if I'm on the right track. Yes, I would say you are. I don't want to slip back into old habits without realizing it. I want to understand what actually makes women feel secure so I can keep this moving forward without forcing it. I feel like something from listening to the show is starting to rub off on me, because I'm handling things differently than I used to, and it's actually working. I just don't fully understand why yet. If you've got something that breaks this down more clearly for a guy at this stage, I'd be open to it. Appreciate everything you put out. Well, yeah, brother, you're in luck, because I just released this book at the beginning of the month. It's perfect for guys in a new relationship. So, if you're worried about messing things up, like, this is the book for you. All right. I have a link in the description for that, but I'll also drop it here in the chat as well. Keep your bitch. It's all about keeping your bitch. But that's the key to it, right? Like, just to give the big spoiler away, it's not her job. It's not your job to keep her. It's her job to keep you. It's your job to be a man worth keeping. And it sounds like you're on the right track. So yeah, give that one a read, man. There's also an accompanying workbook that goes with it if you want to go into depth. And at the beginning of this book, there is a QR code to get that, I believe. I thought there was one. Yeah. There's a QR code to get the workbook for this one. I realized I was talking about get her to fuck you again. And I was like, I thought there was a QR code in that. And then it dawned on me that when I first released Get Her to Fuck You Again, I didn't have a workbook for it. And it was one of my dead bedroom clients that asked me to make a workbook for it. And he's like, dude, if you can make a workbook for this, I'd totally fucking buy it. I was like, yeah, dude. And so that guy, who I actually gave him credit for, I think in the first workbook, I was like, thanks for this idea. I'm going to do this for the other 2 books in the series. So yeah, if you want to go into depth on it, do the workbook too, man. All right. That's all I got for this one, guys. Let me see. There's a bunch of guys in the chat here. Let's see what we got here. Brother John says, good afternoon, kids. JD Ambrose says, hello there. What's going on, man? Okay. John said $5 super chat. Frame is everything. Paul Bauer and Keep Your Bitch and some other guys somewhere. Rollo Tomasi is actually the one that said frame is everything. I was just quoting him in the book, but got to give a shout out to Rollo. A lot of people like to steal Rollo's shit and not give him credit. And I don't like to be that guy. Okay, John, we're going to test this out. So John DM'd me the other day. He's a Wolfpack brother. He DM'd me on Telegram. And he goes, your sound drops are too low, man. And he's a truck driver. He's like, I can't hear it when I'm in the truck, bro. So I'm like, okay. I don't have any control over that on Restream, but I can re-download the MP3 files and like edit them so the volume's higher and then re-upload them, see if it's better. So tell me if this is better, John.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Definitely fucks. Yeah. All right. So let me know if that one's a little bit better. All right. Patrice O'Neill. What about Patrice O'Neill? He was actually, that dude was like pretty red pilled for a stand-up comic. In fact, I think didn't he have his own radio show for a while or a podcast or whatever? Anyway, I know a lot of guys swear by Patrice. He had that one stand-up bit, right? Where he asked the audience of women, okay, tomorrow you're something happens, you get into a nasty accident, your vagina doesn't work anymore. What do you have to offer your man? And like all the women in the audience are like, oh, we'll give him blowjobs. We can give him anal sex and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, He goes, not a single one of you offered anything up except for your other holes. He's like, y'all just made yourself a bunch of holes, walking holes and stuff like that. He's like, you could have said, oh, I'll make sure he's, taken care of. I'm going to be nurturing. I'm going to be, no. Y'all just are like, oh yeah, I got other holes that he can use. Oh man. Yeah. All right. So, did Patrice say frame is everything first? Is that what you're saying? Patrice said the frame thing is something similar all the time. Okay. All right. Well, it's also Iron Tomasi rule number 1, right? Iron rule Tomasi number 1. So I don't know. That's where I got it. All right, guys. That's all I got for this episode. Tune into the podcast tomorrow for Frame Friday. We're continuing my Think and Grow Rich series based on Napoleon Hill's concept of 3 feet from gold. And it's all about how men give up too quickly. And so that should be a good one. Other than that, guys, we are having our pack hangout tonight. Okay. So get in the Wolf Pack right now. It's not too late. You can join the pack right now. Go to wolf.comeonmanpod.com. Get in the pack at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is in, little over an hour or so. we're going to be, we're all going to be getting together on Telegram. We do this once a month. All the guys in the group get on the call and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes it's locker room talk. And we're talking about grabbing women by the pussy. You know what I'm saying, guys, or, you know, whatever. It's kind of like a bar environment too. So they usually last about 2 hours, but you can come and go as you please. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to hang around on a phone call for 2 hours. You don't have to. All right. Or they're like, oh, I can't make it at 5, but I can make it at 6. Okay, great. Great. We'll see you then. Right. All right. So hopefully you guys can make it. The link's in the chat for that. It's also in the description. That's all I got, guys. We will see you guys tomorrow morning for Frame Friday.
You don't fix the storm by folding yourself. She don't want sweet. She wants a man who wants